We're still ahead of our budget. A lot of it is explained, within the document here. See, I don't really get to talk much about it because you have it all here in front of you. I did,
Hit the high points, so, because I know not a lot of communities.
so we have property taxes are still running. Now they're running behind budget because they still owe us, we budget 55% of the levy, which we should be getting in the first half of the year. But they're still having issues with figuring out their billing system and everything that's going on. And I every week I go in and read how it's going along. It's not, but I think there's like talking about litigation now, of course. Although I don't know how litigation does not come out of all of this. But
again, just to clarify, we expect to get the money's question.
Absolutely.
So it's just a timing issue, no big deal.
there's no reason for us to think that we are not getting that. So we are behind budget 10%, which is, 55% less, the number's right. We've collected 49% of 55%. All right. And then the next section of budget is going to be later this year, but we already know that's going to be 2 months late. They've already announced that they're going to issue bills 2 months later. And that's if they issue it 2 months later. So we may have the same issue this year with 2026 money coming in 2027, but the financials will still reflect the income that we've earned. They'll just be a cash flow issue. Okay. Through the, trying to see what else we have here. So we have, the staff then they report their budget variances to me. We have a 7,500 or 10% variance. You have to talk about what's going on, if it's a permanent difference or a temporary difference. You put the budget together and you think that something's going to happen kind of based on last year or based on the last couple of years, and then you can get surprised. So a lot of stuff is timing until we know it's permanent. And we're not going to know, we probably have some idea of what the permanent variances are for camps right now. So we'll know that when we process June. We won't know what the permanent variances are going to be for late summer, fall, for the rest of the year. But when we go to put together the projections, we'll probably have more information where we can talk about where that's going to be. So getting the revenue is, we just have to see how things go, right? Remember, this budget's put together in October last year, and now we're trying to see what's happening. So
How would daily fees variance be timing? Because that's daily fees with. Okay, so I can understand how fee revenue, because some people may have been paying in advance for something that's going later. But how would daily fees be? Wouldn't that be covering what has actually been received?
it could be, but when you put the amount of, you have a projected budget, then you have to spread it over you're gonna have to spread it. It could be that we think that this is what daily fees are gonna do, but we're gonna spread it based on how we collected it last year. But we could be collecting stuff earlier last year, or maybe later this year because maybe the weather's not so great, or maybe it was later last year and the weather's been better this year. So we're still expecting a certain level of daily fees, whatever the budgets are, but it could be timing. And right now, we don't know, especially on daily fees, where we're gonna wind up. Probably at the end of the summer, we'll know. I'll be able to talk about what the permanent.
Because Memorial Day Memorial Day weekend is in that swing. So if one year it's a bad weather year, which it was last year, and this year was a more
One day anyway.
It's one of those, it's just a matter of a
August
few
might
days.
have spotted or something might be adjusted. We don't know if it's a permanent change. We're good.
Yeah. But that's a
Yeah.
close to few important days between 1 month and next that can swing
Right.
quite a bit when you're talking about a 1 month period.
So trying to.
We're 10% up right now, but we don't expect to be 10% up at the end of the year.
And that's what
Okay.
I'm getting. And, it's nice that we are, but we don't know that it's permanent at this point.
Right.
Maybe at the end of next month, we'll know it's going to be permanent because, we'll just have to see how it
We
works.
have more nice days than then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sheila, would miscellaneous revenue be where a grant would go?
Yes.
Okay, in the grants that we recently received,
So just which grants have we received?
We received our Arboretum one, that the one that,
From the state.
we received the larger one. Does that come through?
It will come through here. You will see the variance here. I'm working with the auditors for them, okay? Want to make sure it's coming before we post it, just because we saw it, we don't know. We have not spent any money. And we spent a little bit of money, about 80 grand, okay, worth of this project. So we could probably, book a certain amount of it. So in order to book something for the financials, it has to be fairly certain. And it has to be some specific. That's the wording. Right now, today, I don't know that I could say 100% what both of those things are. But when they give me the okay of when to book that, I'm sure we'll be booking it this year. But it'll be a receivable till we get that cash. But we'll be booking it as revenue and you will see it in that line item. And that will be one of the variances that I'll be explaining going forward. All right, the big thing that normally comes through here is, and this is great, we're just getting sponsorship revenue sooner than it's been budgeted for because we got it later in the year last year. Now we're getting it earlier in this year, in this year, and there's always going to be some timing related to that. Interest, I'm getting some decent rates, better than when I budgeted last October. So hopefully there'll be some interest income that is going to wind up being part of the variance related here too. It's not hugely different, but I'll take it. No. So that's kind of it in revenue. Anybody have any other questions?
Thank you.
No.
And
This is like the most amount of talking I've done in like 5 years, so this is awesome. All right, so expenses, we can talk about I can talk about full-time salaries the best, okay? We have had some full-time turnaround and there's been full-time salaries that have not been paid out because it's taken a while to get those positions filled. And if the positions are being filled, okay, by the same salary that we had budgeted, we're going to have a permanent difference of savings, okay? If the replacement salary is higher, it'll be less of a permanent difference, right? So, what I've been able to identify so far is 155 grand in full-time salaries only. Can't really talk about part-time because we're not far enough into the season to even talk about that. So I think that's, I don't know, it's not a huge amount, but it's still an amount to talk about. All right, employee benefits. What rolls through benefits mostly is the health insurance. That's the biggest moving piece, but the rest of it is training. We're planning to spend the training budget. We're planning to spend all of the dues and everything else that's being budgeted there. The more on time that we pay those invoices, the better the budget distribution is going to be going forward. Health insurance, I had a certain number budgeted. So I budget health insurance at the top of the house, but I find a way to allocate it through all of the facilities and the programs. And we may have the same number of people taking benefits, but 2 headcounts was in one area that they've not hired yet. And then somebody else hired in another area that was not part of the budget, but they're getting expense allocated to them. So at the top of the house, the budget is in line, but throughout all of the programs and the facilities, it's like overhead, however you find a way to budget overhead. And to not run health insurance, which is the second largest expense, salaries and benefits, huge expense for us. It just would not be, I don't think that gives you a good idea of what a program or a facility is doing if you take health insurance out and don't allocate that out, right? So I put out a budget. I hope we're close. We're able to explain the variances. And I'm not ready to say at this point that we've had this much savings in health insurance that we're going to see as a permanent.
Yeah, it may end up being just timing, it's noted.
Right. Because it depends on how people are using it, right? So the more people are using it, the more expense it's gonna come down. There's this little HRA piece that we budget separately for. And, we'll see how that works. So I wish I could, I just wish I could be a little more accurate. This is only 5 months out of the year too, so. All right, and then, sorry, let me just talk back in. So, of course, my favorite, electricity. So
Yeah.
I sit on the sustainability committee and, Lucy had asked me to talk about solar panels. So, solar panels we're under, even with solar and ComEd, which is a combination of what's going on in CRC, we are still 25% less usage this year during the same period versus last year.
25%.
25% under usage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I would not have expected that. I know that we changed a bunch of LED lights. CRC was in flux. There's probably not as much use, you know what I mean? Like, you think about everything that was going on out there.
Yeah, let's use that.
There's been so much that has happened that I don't know that we can say, with accuracy, what is causing the reduction. Okay. Now, with respect to expense, I also know that the people who are billing us for solar are 2 months behind. So I'm watching that, and it started slow. Like, we cut over in December. Like I said, I only know this because I just reported this on Friday, but we cut over in December. We did not start using or getting billed for the solar energy until January 6th. So that month was a little less than what I would have expected because we're missing a few days there. But now the usage is coming up to where I would have expected to see it to be. And it was a 48%, 52% thing. So I'm looking for that math to be happening. But even the allocation between solar and ComEd is kind of running like that, 50-50. But the usage is just down overall. So I don't know, with how much, I mean, 25% usage just based on LED lights, we should be doing LED lights everywhere.
So it's just electric, it's not gas.
No, gas is still running run rate. There's nothing that's comping there. The other things that run through there is water, no difference in water because there's no increase in water rates. And phones, the cell phones run through there.
Which those would have decreased at CRC with usage as well, right?
Well, the phones, but you mean cell phones?
No, I'm saying water, all of the other utilities would have also shifted down if it was just the
Well, my
usage.
guess is that the water usage would have had a pop in May of last year, but other than that, anyways.
Tragedy equals humor. Out of time.
Is it too soon? Anyways, so, again, another topic that I would not have expected that I would become so well versed in. But I have been tracking electricity usage since the beginning of 24, knowing that these panels were going to be going in. And it is not something I would have expected. So now that the building is up and running and going, now we'll have to see what happens to the usage going forward. And I've learned so much about electricity by tracking like this. I'm going to do the same thing with gas wells. I'm going to go back to 25 and dump all the information so that I can look at it.
Has the solar farm electricity come on?
So the solar farm goes online sometime this summer.
Okay.
We should be seeing the percentages coming back, like in September, October, I'm thinking. But I also was reading that there's going to be a big increase in delivery from something related to, the electric bills. And we're going to be renegotiating the gas contract for October. So that's coming now. Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, I'd also add for usage at CRC to replace some significant equipment. That'll make a very big difference. That's all electric. And then, lighting is big. Lighting is,
Right.
in a building like that, it's lights in every single area in every room, and LEDs are 70% less energy, if not more. So that alone is massive
And we
savings.
changed out a ton of lighting fixtures in CRC.
And then just depending on the, sunlight, a system that big, a solar system array that big will generate a lot more energy. And if we have more sunny days, makes a big difference. So all that probably combined. We had new windows, can you imagine?
So where else do we have left to replace LED lights then? Because I know we did, all of tennis, we did the CRC, we did here.
We're very close. So, we have some lights, just a few left down at Lakeview. Most of CRC is complete. We have some ancillary lights at Gulf, finish out in the maintenance barn, some other areas. We had a significant amount of lights at Centennial, which they've replaced, I believe, 45 or 50 pictures in the last several weeks there. So we're getting
You
close.
forgive us. Lakeview,
Yeah, Lakeview,
Right.
didn't have LED lights.
There is a couple over there that they should get to change out.
Okay.
So, but by and large, we have most of the lights change out across the district.
And the last of the capital money for LED lights is this year? Okay,
so by year end, we'll be done.
but then there'll probably be maintenance costs.
Yeah, there will be.
No, but in terms of the switch.
So I will put, there's some, say, back of the house lights, like in some of the closets that just haven't been changed out with the lights, but everything forward facing in the facilities. That's specifically CRC.
Nice.
That is what he said to me when I asked him about next week. So that is, I didn't say that before, yes. And
Well, that's great. And that's, I think, something worth communicating. I mean, I think that's a great story for us to communicate about the park district and our sustainability work.
Most people brought up being incandescents, like, it's always, yeah, it's like,
Right.
you like throwing your money away.
Well, we're on a tear with respect to CRC. Should we just continue? Is there anything else we'd like to add?
actually,
Capital and what else?
yeah, I don't have anything. You have to list of capital.
Yeah.
I'm only picking the big stuff. So if you do the math, it's not gonna match the bottom line. It's just the material stuff and where we're at. What's my differences.
Good. Well, next up then we'll have, Judge. I'm excited to hear about the reconstruction update. Because the building looks terrific.
It does.
CRC Springer incident.
The side of.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so May 22nd, we had the issue with the sprinkler going up on the second floor of the CRC Center. That night, that very night, Servpro started a remediation on the facility. The next day, the journal claim gets filed, Carol, through LJ Shaw. June 13th, the remediation was completed at CRC. October 7th, Derma approved the fuller contract with Verderma, and roughly 6 months later, we had completed the full reconstruction of that flooded area. I want to take the time, though, to thank a few people. Without these individuals, this timeline of April 6th wouldn't have been possible, specifically Ken Johnson and Caitlin, Dave staff. They were very good at being agile, moving programming around when construction is going on. So we were running the business through an extensive renovation facility. So they played an integral part of that. Additionally, I want to thank Carol. She was sending out weekly updates to the entire staff of what was going on, where we're at with the project. So, those staff did a great job at communicating that along with communications. So we just wanted to show some. Here is the very next day where you can still see water in the upstairs facility. And then here's the afterwards picture, essentially a year later.
And it's probably my favorite picture, only because as somebody who was here when we opened that building in 1995, and it probably was the same corporate at that.
Yeah.
To see it like that now, it's just been, wow.
Yeah.
So if you recall too, here's the before, during, and after picture of downstairs where the main lobby is, where the front desk is specifically. So you walk in and you turn left, you see the purple carpet, the green carpet, and all the various different carpets throughout the facility. So as part of this reconstruction, we did have some projects that straddled in 25 and 26, which we combined into these funds, and I'll go through the financial piece in a minute. But these were the projects that we had in 25 and 26 that we all combined into the big $498,000. Additionally, why we budgeted $498,000 was, at the time, we didn't know when we were going through the project. It hadn't been completely worked out with Derma, what they were covering as far as every single detail as far as reimbursement. So we budgeted that so that we could cover those costs there. So in 2025, we had capital of $148,000, and then in 26, we budgeted another $350,000 for the combined $498,000. So paid to date, as of June 18, $985,662 was paid out as part of this project. The total insurance proceeds is $769. We received $769,173. So our spend out of this $498,000 is $216,489. So roughly, we have, or not roughly, we do have $281,511 left. We still have a few items that we do need to complete. We still have room 107 to complete, which we're going to do later this fall. In addition to room 116, we're going to do the flooring, painting, cabinets, and then those spaces are complete. Additionally, Dave's staff is working on the furniture aspect for the main lobby area and the lounge specifically, and then the gymnastics area. So those three projects still need to be finished, but there still will be a significant savings out of that $281,000 that's left on the project. We were also
Just an underspend, it's not savings, it'll be an underspending.
Relative to budget.
out of that though, you know, the feel, the fit and finish, one thing we wanted to come out of this was that when you go down to the hallway, you see the same carpet in every single corridor. We have the same color palettes. We have the same cabinetry, everything throughout the whole facility to really make it come together. So it really actually provided us an opportunity to make the entire building much better.
Yeah.
So Carol's going to talk about just the procurement piece and the reimbursements.
Josh had mentioned, so Derma referred us out to LJ Shaw, so we dealt with them, and then they would refer everything back to Derma. So the date from Derma for reimbursements, we've gotten $756,060.33. So that's anything building wise. And then lost content to date, we've gotten $13,112.80. And we actually have a pullback amount that's actually still coming, $594.90. That was for the ceramic tables. The ceramic tables, if any of you have been up in 205, big, massive tables that were literally built when we moved into the building. Trying to find the like of that was very difficult and hard to do. We did find some similar, and then actually Laura Grunschel had just in redesigning taking the opportunity to redesign the ceramics room, was able to find smaller ones that were more conducive for how they were moving forward, and Derma was fine with that. So that amount is still to come. And then one of the things that's not up here actually is our lost income. So when we started the process, they had us go through a couple different things. And I had turned in sheets, whatever, got documentation for $4,030.76 for lost income. That was only through the beginning of June of last year, because the staff really did a great job of moving things around, pivoting whenever they could, moving things over here or wherever they could. LJ Shaw was like, we're going to wait until everything is just buttoned up, sealed up, and then we'll go from there. So I still have some back and forth that I'm doing with them. So they had not even paid us that $4,030. So additional will be coming in addition to that. I just don't have that bottom number for you.
Besides ceramics, were other courses not able to be run?
Some of them, so in those first days when we had to cancel things, but then you had to, so it was whatever we refunded. And then also whatever we were paying the teachers, that came so that had to come out of it, because I was just like, oh, we refunded 10 people, that's $10. That wasn't it. They're like, no, you have to take off the cost of the teacher. So then we had to go back, rework that. the fitness classes or punch cards. So we had to do here's an average of what we get in the class. And so we went back and forth with that. So, yeah.
I made a comment that was the amount from Dermot today. But do you expect any more summer school?
The lost income.
Just so.
Yeah, the lost income is on the $594 for the whole back amount and that was from the ceramic tables. Because the ceramic tables were not ordered until the spring, so. Other questions on that?
No, good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yes, it's financials.
Any questions on CRC?
I'm in the building almost every day. It just, so much better.
It really does, doesn't it?
It's nice to.
It's
Yeah,
so walking in, it was frankly kind of depressing before, and I'm excited to hear about the furniture. I mean, the changes to the gymnastics space already, I think it changed to that lounge. It's a facility that it still is a school that we converted very clearly, but it is so much more a place where there are opportunities to sit as neighbors, which I really appreciate. And so much smarter with where the kids are putting their things, and yeah, a great job to Tim and Caitlin.
How about that smell in the gymnastics area? Were you guys able to do something?
I can't years of.
Give the-
And it truly was a team effort. I mean, part of that money, the $10,000 in extra overtime and stuff that they paid. I mean, everybody from all the departments, everyone's helping. Josh's department just worked hours upon hours to help get things moving and get us up and running in the different classrooms. So
You guys did amazing because I really expected to hear a lot of feedback from residents, like, what is happening? It's and it was quiet. I mean, people really didn't write that much about the state of it. So again, well done to everybody.
I would add communication too.
Yeah, absolutely. All of it.
Communication team did a good job kind
Yeah.
of updating.
Yeah.
And reconfiguring the flow. I know there were a couple of times when I would work out and there'd be a different way into this fitness space than there was the last. So considerations were made. All right, over to Mike for a nice update.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me back. Good season last year. I know I had a lot of slides, but should be able to keep any questions, don't hesitate. Meet the team. We have Florence Krieger, our figure skating supervisor, and Sarah Freilich, our ice supervisor, who's returned, and I joined the team in January. Some of the new Park District programs that we had this year was power skating edges, jumps and spin drop-off clinics, off-ice conditioning, some learning the game of hockey, power hockey drop-in, and summer exhibition. And then a big one was our day off skating clinics, which I'll bounce back to on a later slide. Class enrollment in 24-25, we had 1609 participants, and this year we had 1719. It was 110 participant increase at 6.8%, so that was good. The biggest increase was in late fall of last year, where we gained 62 participants, 14%. Some Park District programming revenue at a glance. I just wanted to break down some of the classes and show you where we're at for this year. Learn to skate classes had a nice increase due to spring and summer skate programs, which was nice to see. The advanced class had a big growth driven by synchronized skating program. And then teen and college participants nearly doubled compared to the previous year, which was nice to see. I did put in that our adult classes slipped a tiny bit, but I think that's kind of due to scheduling on Sunday evenings. So we're going to look to make an improvement this year for a better time slot, so we can work on that category. And then camps, like I said before, strong enrollment for day off camps, which are like days on MLK Day or President's Day when schools are out of session. We take advantage of those days to do fun camps, and they've been very popular. Our team and public skates have been very good this season. With all the, thank goodness it's Friday skates. We also do the holiday skates, Santa, Halloween, and New Year's. But this year for the theme skates, we did 70s night early in the year. We've done country night, all very popular. Some of the new things that we've expanded on, some giant inflatables and some more decorations, and it turned out to be very popular and busy.
How often are you doing the TGIF?
We've been doing them about one every 6 to 8 weeks. This summer, we slowed down just a little bit, just because of activity, app wise, but we're busier doing them in the early part of the year and the later part.
That's what my kids were doing, teams, I think it was like every Friday.
Friday night skates.
Friday night skates, you know.
Yeah, and we do have constant publics going on, and we do throw some that don't even count, like Valentine's Day. We didn't make it a themed Friday night skate, but for that, we do full decor and everything for as well.
Do you still have the Friday, I mean, do you still have the public skate on Friday nights or like that a lot of the teens go to, or the middle school kids, not?
Middle school kids that did.
Yeah, the middle school kids.
Yeah, no, mostly in the day, but then heavy public skates on the weekend.
The Friday night skates that you're talking about,
Yeah.
when they started to go away, then they got eaten up by other users. So when the team put together the Friday night skates, it was basically what was left. Like, what were those weekends leading into there not being skating on Friday, like any other user groups in there? So we kind of had to build around our plans with other people. So now that we've seen the success of it again, we're kind of trying to build back in that Friday night skate again.
Yeah.
But when you and I knew what our kids knew, they
Yeah.
had been doing for a while.
They haven't, yeah. It's way for them, for different kids to.
Strengthening and balancing our partners, obviously, Wilmette Hockey Association is a big one, and New Trier Hockey Group. I've been doing everything possible to kind of meet with them and have a really good relationship with them. So far, so good. They've been great to work with and communicating a lot, and I think that both relationships are stronger right now. This weekend, I did get some information, which I didn't add to the slide. New Trier girls hockey hasn't been with us for 4 or 5 years, and they're gonna come back. So we're gonna get them on Sunday nights. They're gonna be playing games, about 9 games so far. We have books. They just sent the contract back this week. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's just a quick slide on our rental rates. Peak season, main rate 420, studio rate 210, off season 250, and studio 150. I know this was added in 2024, and I just want to agree that it's totally competitive to our neighboring rates. I think that helps a lot with our rental bookings. And if anything down the line, maybe we might want to introduce a 48-hour rate so we can get quick last minute bookings with last minute ice. So it's something I'll be working on this year. Some ice rental revenue, kind of just have it broken down. With that graph, it kind of just shows you our busy peaks and valleys, and you'll see that we obviously get slower in April and the summer. But with some of the new programs and new rentals that we have booked for this year, I think you'll notice that we flatline out more of this coming summer versus single down, because we have much more activity this summer. Some of the things that we did in the bar graph, just to kind of show you, was we reduced some of the freestyle time so we could capture more rental time and more programming time, which all in all works out much better. We also increased our open hockey time as well. Some operating revenue and operating expenses breakdown for the last few years. Very close. Happy to say that the projection this year, we're looking at 1.25, expenses at 965,000, and then a net operating income of 285. So I included that graph to show the operating income as well.
I mean, sorry, what was 2022? That was like the biggest, that's like I mean, because the operating income has been pretty steady for 2025, 2024. I mean, it is going up a little bit, but not, but then 2022, it seemed like it was a lot more. That's about 400 and 420,000 versus the 280, 265, 285 of the other years. Do you know why? I mean, that is before your time. I don't know.
I mean, I've done a little bit of digging on it, but I haven't seen any differences from the major partners changing, rentals or rental fees. I think just 22 would go far back, so I'm not positive.
Wasn't there a, we lost like one of the men's, adult?
Yeah, they,
Right,
right, I don't think that was a significant amount of revenue. To be honest with you, you've done a great job of showing how we're incrementally increasing over the last couple of years, and we're really excited to see that. Going back to, Commissioner Clark's question, not for now, I'm certainly not trying to put you on the spot.
For sure.
When we get into the budget cycle, I know there's several of us that really want to do a deeper dive into hockey because, ice, forgive me, ice, because, the operating surpluses in, 16, 17, 18, 19, pre-COVID, even the first year kind of coming out of COVID, were much, much higher than we've seen recently. And we all want to understand why that is and what's changed. In this diagram, we see that expenses were significantly lower in 22, and they probably then were in those earlier years as well, even though we had significant revenue. So we, again, not to be on the spot here, but that's something we really want to look at as we get into the budget season and understand what the fundamental shift was, and if those are permanent conditions or we can get back to where we were before. Yeah, thank you.
Well, some new updates for this summer for 2026. We will obviously be open 7 days a week. We will not be closed on Sunday. So we'll have full activities at the rink all weekend, which will be something new. We're excited for it. One of the big things that we were able to add was the Premier Adult Hockey League. They will have 10 games throughout the summer, and that's usually later in the evenings. That's just a time slot that's tough to rent. So that's something that's nice to have on board. Robbie Glenn's hockey clinic. He'll be in two different separate trips for some clinics to do. He's from Los Angeles. He works for the NHL Network, very popular camps. He does come through the North Shore and hits a couple of our competitor rinks, neighboring rinks. So we got them on board to make an appearance of ours as well. So that'll be good.
Nice.
We've added some youth stick and puck, which is just kind of like hockey skills, and some adult pickup hockey on the weekends because it's been popular during the week. And it's been generating a lot of activity on Sundays and Saturdays and Sundays through the spring. So we added it, we continued it on through the summer. Just a quick chart of our birthday parties. This is from last year. We do about $38,000 in rental income for this. It was 104 parties. They average about $365 a party. They're very fun. You get some studio ice time, and then you get a party room as well. A lot of activities, so it's been pretty fun. I think we'll see some growth in the summer by being open on Sundays. So that should be something that we'll be looking at. Our maintenance updates, obviously we had the annual Zamboni maintenance completed in March and April. We sent both of our Zambonis to run our specialties. They got fully checked over, small parts replaced. They've come back, they're much better, much better. I drove them which day I started and to drive them after they came back, noticeable improvements. And the best part is they should last 3 or 4 years so we can push off the deferment to purchasing units. Another thing that we've added is more routine ice maintenance. Typically it was being done like once or twice a week, but now we're doing it more early mornings or late night. And the biggest thing is ice quality and performance, safety, and facility assets. But what I always say is better ice attracts elite skaters. And that's in figure skating and hockey. We've noticed that from our freestyle. We're going to get a lot more experienced skaters coming out, which is good. New for 26, we are excited to bring back Centennial Rink concessions. We were hoping to have that open in September, and right now we're in the RFP process. It's just begun, so we'll have more information on that, but we're looking forward to having that open in September. And that will go through the season, and we'll have more information on that as the RFP takes place. We do have a new Spark Skates sharpener, so we have an opportunity to generate more revenue by sharpening skates for some of our guests. And then some of the two new items are new lobby monitors in the lobby. Super helpful. You can put up the locker room schedule. So when kids are coming in with skate bags, they can look at it right in that front lobby and know that they're gonna go to locker rooms 5 through 8 versus having to go all the way downstairs, check a piece of paper, and then go all the way back up to check. So that's been super helpful. Plus those monitors show upcoming events of what's going on at Centennial. So that's great. And throughout the park district. And then our new lobby rugs just arrived on Friday, so I can make sure of that.
And is that, where does that cover? Because I know the entryway and it's ice, that area was in question, how to properly manage it so it didn't appear dirty.
Right. So we have these new rugs that were just put down on Friday.
Okay,
And these rugs that I have in the picture are more like downstairs by the ice desk.
Yeah.
And the entrance to the rinks, both rinks and the skate rental. But we have nice, giant, new, very good looking gray
right,
rugs.
when you walk in.
Front
now.
lobby.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also tennis received a logo of
Sounds- yeah,
tennis.
that's great.
Yeah. Our ice show finished up in May this year and was a really successful event. I couldn't be happier about it. We had 199 participants, coaches, staff, volunteers, celebrated another successful skating season while creating lasting memories for both on and off the ice. We shattered some ice show records. Going back to 22, we had our highest ticket sales. We had 1,129 tickets sold in this season, beat last year by 33 tickets. And then we had our highest ticket sold in one day, which was Saturday. And then highest revenue for one day, which was Saturday. So it was really good. Plus it was over a weekend where Sunday we did a matinee and it was on Mother's Day. So we were a little nervous, but it's still working out pretty good.
Well, it's been like the 26th year that it's been on Mother's Day, because I know I back on that one year to move it, and they were like, no, it's been running for 20 years, and I'm like, did anyone consult a mom about that?
Well, the challenge is the earlier we put it, it's less time to prepare for it. And
Yeah.
the later we go, it sneaks into the camp. So it's just that small window we have. I think we might have the ability to move it one weekend next year. So we can try that to compare and contrast.
That's Mother's Day.
Great tradition.
You know, the
Like, watch the So as a mom of a skater, actually, I work 4 hours. It's a long time on Mother's Day to be in a ice rink.
Sure. No, I agree.
being a god of the
That's outside.
Friday night's an evening show, Saturday and Sunday are matinees, so I think that's helped out a little bit
Yeah.
for a 2 o'clock show. And Florence really keeps the show to 90 minutes, so not to make it quite as long, but I think next year, I think would be an idea to try to push it one
Thank
more
you for
back.
looking into it. I promised I would ask again and again about it.
Some of the new ice show lobby activations we had were something new this year. We did bring in Central Station Coffee and Tea to work concessions, and I think that generated the excitement even more about opening in September. People were absolutely losing their minds, so that was good. They are also one of the vendors that provided an interest RFP, so they would be part of the groups to participate. The marketing team has a wonderful iPad photo booth system where they can create a postcard and they give me the stand and the iPad, and all the participants and the people attending the event can take pictures of themselves, and a QR code comes up and they can scan that, and then that picture goes right to their phone. So that was what everybody was getting when they were taking their own pictures of themselves. And then lastly, we did a flower shop pop-up. A lot of the parents bring bouquets for some of their kids, so the congratulations gift. And some parents forget, and they just don't have time to run out and try to get it really quickly. So we paired up with a florist, and we just gave it a shot. And we sold out the first day. I had to go to Mariano's the next day and buy another 15. So it was nice added revenue, but also an added benefit. And lastly, I just wanted to give a quick sponsorship update. This picture that I put with the multi-year packages is what marketing helped develop for us to be able to pass out to the community to try to, when we're going to meetings or whatnot, to pitch. I think the 3-year term is going to do a lot better than constantly renewing the 1 year sponsorship packages, which just take time, and this way we can get them in more long-term, but then add our like digital signage from the lobby monitors, and then also invite them to specialty events. And they've been very popular. So we've already sold 2. I've got 2 more in process. And then we did have 1 renewal for 1 year. So we're in the process of really building on the sponsorships. We did create a Zamboni Red package, the 3-year deal. And now we have the backup to be able to pitch those to different clients that we meet with. And with signs, I recommended putting in a QR code and then just reminded them to keep big letters for the signs because it just makes the read look better versus a lot of verbiage all over the place. And then adding a QR code where they can scan it and people can get information.
Mike, can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
Kudos to all of the kind of innovative things that you're doing, like the flower pop-up and just programming, really great. In terms of sponsorship, this is something, an area I've been really interested in is, how can we increase across the district sponsorship opportunities? I think this is a great way for us to diversify our revenue and really engage with the community in different ways. So I'm really glad to see, this exploration and would love a further conversation more broadly about sponsorship across the park district and our various facilities.
Great, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I kind of came up with the package, but I was trying to pitch these things in Word and PowerPoint. And so being able to reach out to JP and the marketing team, they want to brand everything the same way. And this is a lot easier to send out via email or through the color copy for me to get that I'm going to a meeting at to be able to pitch them. So it's been super helpful.
I'll jump in. So on that note, we are working on a job description for sponsorship position. So it'll help because right now, each of our individual, facilities are, they have full-time jobs and they're trying to pitch more sponsorship. So having someone dedicated, we can create relationships, we can work with the local business district and have it all in kind of one spot. And I think it's good for community as a whole, the more we bring people in together. So we're excited to bring that.
It's part-time, don't worry.
We're dipping our toes because they have to prove, right? You want the right person who's gonna bring in sponsorships.
Yeah.
Salary.
Yeah, they have to. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they should cover their salary. But I mean, I actually think that it may require the board to have a discussion about sponsorship policy more broadly and what we're comfortable with in terms of sponsorship. So
We began that conversation.
Yeah. And so maybe that's a future discussion, because I think there's probably gonna be some good energy around that, and you may, as part of that, want to include some ad guidelines. In case there is an ad that you want to reserve the right to reject.
A huge compliment to you and your team. I feel there's a buzz about ice again, which is really exciting. You walk into the building and there's always something happening now down there. And as you can see, there's a reason why, because we've created so many great new opportunities and pulled things out that we maybe pushed to the bottom during COVID. Your staff, Lisa, I mean, she's a woman who I think we have her stand out of the soccer field. She'd probably recruit half of the to try ice skating. And all your pop-up events, I don't remember having heard of those years before. And I feel like with marketing and your team, I knew about them every time. So fantastic job. I can't believe you've been here a year.
No.
A year. I was like, how have you been here a year already? So thank you. You've been doing a fantastic job and it's showing. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks. That was my last one. It was a great season last year, but we're really looking forward to the opportunities ahead. Thank you. You got it. Thanks.
I think that's some people. Well, that was item 5.4, brings us to item 6.0.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,